All right, so we get some dirt we're going to go over in the basement greenhouse tonight. First, we got some basic Pro Mix gardening mix, real light, good for seedlings. Not not enough drainage for my liking in indoor settings, so I like to amend that one with some perlite. Get it like this, get some good water flow through it. Nothing gets soggy and saturated that way. Second one we got here, got some Pennington Rejuvenate mix. Comes with quite a bit of chunks in it, so I like to throw them out. I also amend that one, put some perlite in there, make it look real nice. And the third choice of soil I go with is from a local greenhouse, Ball Professional Growing Mix. This is the peat moss version. Best thing I use for growing figs indoors. I like to, when I transplant them, I mix all three of them together. It makes it real nice mix there. And I always buy my perlite in bulk. Get it way cheaper online. For the additives to the dirt, I like to start with, when I wet it down, I use some natural, prevents any gnats that may or may not be in there, but you just never know. Almost anything comes in with gnats, especially all these clearance dirts that I got last fall. Sat outside all summer, got loaded up with some gnat larvae. If I'm gonna do seedlings, I like to start with a diluted mixture of just a regular old synthetic fertilizer. I avoid any fish fertilizers indoors. I'm not a real fan of the smell inside. If I'm going to be doing fig cuttings or transplants, I mix it with this root stimulator. It does have hormones, so that works really well for fig roots. If I'm just doing vegetable transplants, I just go with the regular old plant start from Earl May. Either one works really well. Sometimes I like to throw a little bit of these mycos in there. And once you get all your soil moistened and put into trays, these are the trays I like to use. 50 cell fits in a 10 by 20 tray. Works really well for tomatoes and peppers. The other options I got are some of these that work really well for air pruning your roots, so they take off a little faster once you transplant them. I also got just your regular old up potting little squares, some 2.5 inch regular squares. If I give plants away, I use these. They're super cheap. Use 7-inch domes on all of those. Got a little vent hole so you can slowly acclimate them to your humidity. Basements are super dry, so these work really well to slowly get the plants going and lower the humidity inside there so they don't dry out. Best transplant pots I've got so far are these ones with many air holes. Work really well for transplanting fig trees, growing micros in it. American made. So really like these ones. These really big ones here for micros, working really well for this size of tomato plant for me. This one was just transplanted maybe 20 days ago. Lots of aeration on the bottom, keeps them nice and healthy. Got a couple pretty nice sized tomato plants so far indoors. You can see how many roots are coming through the bottom. I think this one will be a 4-foot plant before spring comes. It's already got a handful of flowers coming in on it. Really healthy. All right, so last thing I got for soil is every fig grower struggles with fungus gnats at least once in their time. So I like to load up the tops of these with sand. Really helps to slow down the fungus gnats. They seem to not like laying eggs in the sand. I think this method would work well for about anything once you transplant it up to a bigger size. Wouldn't recommend it for seedlings, but for transplants, it's going to work really well.